Sue, body up the middle, making another move to the outside. 15, 10, end zone again.
Keeps it. Nice move by Brown. He's got space. He's got 6. 35-yard touchdown for Byron Brown. A record-setting night for the South Florida quarterback.
Down so far, a little bit of a high snap. Genty right up the middle. Genty has room. Ashton Genty, give him 6.
Second and long. Lagar tries to fit it in a row. It does. Rowe stays up. The show's off his 4-3 wheels. Incredible effort for Rowe.
The G5 Hive. All G5, all the time.
Welcome to the G5 Hive Live, where we're excited to bring you G5 college football coverage you love each and every week. I am Luke, and I'm joined by my co-host, Justice. If you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're watching us on X, please give us a follow, a like, retweet. If you're listening to us in podcast form, please rate and review. The G5 Hive merchandise store, now live. Link in our YouTube video comments, as well as pinned on our X page. And at the bottom of the screen here is pretty cool. We got a little shout out on Christmas morning. One of our fans got a shirt. I'm not sure who who gave him the gift, but it was pretty cool to see that was a Christmas gift for somebody. Well, let's get into the nectar, the good stuff. Let's talk about some of these G5 Bulls games in review. We had the VRBO Fiesta Bowl, number 6 Penn State Nittany Lions versus number 3 Boise State Broncos, Glendale, Arizona, New Year's Eve. Oh man, wasn't as great as we had hoped. In the sense of Boise State did not get the win. But, Ashton Genty created 33 missed or broken tackles against Penn State, 21 of them being behind the line of scrimmage. Penn State wins 31-14. I felt really bad because we were talking during the game, and I mentioned last week on the show, I'm like, of everything, like I feel the best about their special teams, their field goals, and right off the bat,
he missed 2.
They missed the 3 at the very beginning. And I think it was that I didn't keep my notes down in the game, but I can't remember what it was, 4th and whatever. There's one 4th down that I felt like they should have gone for it just because, like, I'm not so sure you're going to get many opportunities. So there's one 4th down that I wish they would have gone for it. I think it might have been that first one. Maybe it was the other one that they missed the field goal on. But yeah, it was not great.
I mean, the game. I felt like the game was closer than the score.
Yes.
And to me, the real turning point in the game was they had a touchdown called back on
third
an illegal
quarter, end of third.
I think it was near the end of the third quarter.
Yeah.
An illegal use of hands on an offensive lineman, and was it the right call? Yeah. I mean, but it wasn't as egregious as what you normally see, right? But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, his hands did get in the defensive lineman's face mask. But yeah, penalties and those missed field goals really just kind of their own mistakes is kind of what really kind of killed their hope in this game. Penn State did a great job containing Ashton, and he still had 100 yards, right? That's the thing, like that I guess that's bugged me the most since this game is all these people talking about how bad Ashton Janty is. No, I mean, this is one of the best run defenses in all of college football. Prior to this game, they only had one other running back have 100 yards rushing against them, and that was USC's Jaquavius Marks. And Ashton Janty still got 100 yards, and it was abundantly clear like what their objective was, right? I mean, their objective was to stop Ashton Janty at all costs, and just like the stat you read off, he had 33 missed tackles. That just shows you how good of a running back Ashton is. And of those 33, 21 of them were behind the line of scrimmage. that defensive line, and they lost Abdul Carter. Abdul Carter, I think, only played the first half. Looked like he had a shoulder, or a bicep or something injury, but he's their best defensive lineman, and they just have so much talent, so much depth. And yeah, Billy, you're absolutely right. That I think on that 10-yard run, I think he broke like 6 or 8 tackles on that run alone, right? So yeah, I mean the kid's a special running back, and the folks that are saying he's not a good running back or using this game to say he's not a good running back, in my opinion, just didn't watch the game, because he showed everything in that game to show you that he's a good running back. Just
absolutely.
Penn State's a talented team.
And honestly, when it comes to it, there's not a lot of running backs now that get drafted in the first round. Yeah, you had Bijan Robinson and whatnot, but like Ashton Jeanty, he is a first round talent running back, and I think we're going to see that here in the last weekend in April. Well, I guess technically that last Thursday in April.
Yeah, I'm selfishly hoping that my Dallas Cowboys draft him. that would make me a stronger Cowboys fan. My Cowboys fandom has been waning the last several years. I'm not a big Mike McCarthy fan. I'm
I'm
hoping the Bears hire him. So
what do you think? I know we're not some NFL podcast or whatnot, but got the 49ers picking at like 11-ish. What if I know they've got Christian McCaffrey, but what if there's something bigger going on? You take Ashton Jeanty there.
I don't think that I don't think that they would do that. I don't think the 49ers would do that.
All right.
They take a running back. But
they take like a running back every third round. I feel like
they do. They take their running backs late, though. I don't see them taking a running back in the first round. It's people will say it's not good. It's not good value from a positional standpoint. But it happened with Bijan and with Jahmyr Gibbs, and it's definitely worked out well for the Lions. Bijan, he's a great running back, but the Falcons need some additional talent around him. But the Cowboys, I can see doing it. Just looking at the teams in front of them, I don't think any of them would do it. I don't think any of those teams would pull the trigger on Ashton. I could be wrong, but yeah. So selfishly, I'm hoping for Ashton to go to the Cowboys, and then if he does, I will definitely buy an Ashton Jeanty Cowboys jersey. That's happening for sure. And I haven't bought a Cowboys jersey since, I think the last one I bought was like Jason Witten or Emmitt Smith. So.
All right. Well, let's move on to the First Responder Bowl. We had Texas State Bobcats, North Texas Mean Green. We had some of our players of the week in this game. Mestamaker finds his high school teammate Miles Coleman, both true freshmen, on a deep pass over the middle for 6. Texas State hit Jaden Williams on a screen that he took 70 yards to the 1. And then Texas State was not able to punch it in on first or second. They get a false start on third down, don't get a touchdown, have to settle for a field goal. Justice, you kind of thought this was like a weird.
This was weird. Yeah, because the Jaden Williams 70-yard screen pass looked like a touchdown. And then the next 2 plays looked like touchdowns. But none of them were called a touchdown. Especially the Jaden Williams, that first one, and then the Jordan McLeod run, they look pretty clearly like touchdowns to me. And so I just thought it was really weird how like those. I mean, I don't think they even reviewed the Jaden Williams play. How those didn't get ruled touchdowns, I don't know. Beyond my level of comprehension. At the end of the day, it didn't. Texas State won the game, but if Texas State had lost this game, I think that's all you would have heard about was how the refs screwed him out of a touchdown 3 times, and they had to settle for a field goal. But yeah, that was weird. I can't explain it.
And then why don't you talk about, Messamaker? He was your
Yeah,
player.
I mean, like Billy said, he looked like the real deal. I mean, he was throwing dimes all over the field. He led them right back down after that weird sequence with Texas State. He led them right back down the field. He hit Landon Sides for a 16-yard touchdown. And then right before halftime there, Jordan McLeod just was getting ready to get sacked. And he throws what I would call a YOLO ball. You only live once ball. Just kind of throwing it up. And Jaden Williams catches it for a touchdown. They took the lead there in the second quarter. That was just kind of crazy because he had 2 guys closing in on him, and he just chucked it up there, and Jaden Williams comes down with it for a touchdown. Definitely a crazy play in the game.
Then you had North Texas driving in the red zone. They throw a pick on a screenplay at the end of the second quarter. Texas State, then drives with the opening possession of that second half down the field for a touchdown. Then North Texas gets an interception from McLeod at the 8-yard line in the fourth quarter. But then North Texas ends up fumbling, gets recovered by Texas State. Then Texas State fumbles and then gets recovered by North Texas. And then you had a Messamaker with that big 42-yard pass to Landon Sides leads to a touchdown. Then you have my player of the week, Lincoln Perry, with a 73-yard touchdown run. That, for the most part, sealed it. But then, not too long after, you got Messamaker with a huge 70-yard run to make it close. And you need a couple first downs to run the play.
The second quarter or the second half of the game was not too exciting there until probably halfway through the fourth quarter when they started trading touchdowns back and forth. You had, like you said, you had that little stretch of 3 turnovers in a row, sloppy football. But yeah, I mean, it was an exciting game. They did not run out of beer. So if you don't remember, this is Texas State's second year in a row in the First Responder Bowl. In the 2023 season last year, they ran out of beer. I think at halftime. By halftime, they ran out of beer. I did see a post where it says the only thing left was Coors Light, but I never saw anything that said they ran out of beer this time. So kudos to the First Responder Bowl for making sure they had enough beer there for the North Texas and Texas State fans. But yeah, great game. One of the more entertaining games of the 2024 bowl season.
Let's get to the Bahamas Bowl. This was the last bowl game other than all of your BCS championship playoff type games. We have the Buffalo Bulls versus Liberty Flames. We're in the Bahamas. It's nice. That field, before we get into the game, he had I was following people on Twitter who were at the game, and they're showing pictures of people fixing the field during the game. You had the end zone due to the track around it. It was 5 yards or it was 5 feet. I don't know. It was shorter of an end zone than you're accustomed to. That was it looked a little bit weird. It was and every time everybody's running, it's sand kicking up. I mean, we're in the Bahamas, I guess. Probably don't have
the weird thing is they were doing renovations to the stadium because there was no Bahamas Bowl last year. So last year we had the famous Toastery Bowl in down in Charlotte, which I went to because it's Old Dominion versus Western Kentucky. But that was kind of the bowl that took the place of the Bahamas Bowl for 1 year because they were doing renovations to the stadium. So yeah, you would have thought hey, they didn't play here for 2 years. Maybe it would have been in better shape. I don't know.
So, but anyways, we have that was on Saturday, January 4th. Got started my time at 10 in the morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. There was 129 yards of offense for the Flames in the first half. Started with 4 3-and-outs before they had a 4-play, 55-yard series that ended in a fumble. I'm not going to mention that the 55-yard series was fueled by a first down run by Billy Lucas that took 55 yards to the Buffalo 30-yard line. So, like, all that yards came in one play. Although it was 9-0 at the half, the Bulls only had 25 more total yards in the Flame. The game didn't feel all that close.
No, it never really felt close. Buffalo just couldn't capitalize. Getting the ball in the end zone. That was kind of the problem. The Liberty offense did not look good. I mean, we talked about it last week. They were missing a lot of players on offense. Like Billy says, quarterback issues. Caden Salter was gone. He's off to Colorado. Quentin Cooley, their leading running back, did not play. He's preparing for the NFL. But I tell you that the bigger issue, Salter might be number 2 on the list for me. Number 1 was offensive line. They lost a lot of offensive linemen in the portal, and that was to me the bigger issue for Liberty. I mean, Billy Lucas is a good. Is he Quentin Cooley? I don't think so, but he's still a pretty decent running back. But yeah, I think that offensive line was the bigger issue for the Flames this week.
And then the Bulls would come out of the half. They marched down the field, 9-play, 75-yard drive that ended in an Al J. Henderson 45-yard touchdown run. That drive was followed up by a fumble by Ryan Berger, created by none other than Red Murdoch. Then the Bulls would go on a 10-minute drive, 17 plays. It ended in a missed field goal, but it just ate up so much time that there's pretty much the game was at that point essentially over. Red Murdoch would put the exclamation point on the day for the season for the Bulls with a 31-yard pick 6 to put the Bulls up 26-0 early on in the fourth quarter. Bulls go on to win 26-7.
And Liberty did bring in they got a commitment from Ethan Vasco. So I think it's after Berger's performance, it's probably safe to say that Vasco is probably the early favorite for that job. And Vasco played for Coastal Carolina, and he was recruited there by Jamie Chadwell. He was there in Jamie Chadwell's last year, so there's definitely some familiarity between Vasco and Chadwell as well.
I do want to bring it up because I just remember it from our last time. I gave you an over-under for sacks. I believe you said 4 or 4.5. I could not remember.
I think the number was 4.5 was the number I had.
They only had 3 on the day. So while offensive line was an issue, they didn't meet your over.
But one thing that we both really liked, and I actually had to drive to North Carolina so I could place a bet, was was Buffalo getting 2.5 points. We're like, that's crazy. Given all the losses that Liberty has, Buffalo isn't losing anybody. Yeah. So hopefully, I certainly don't pretend that we're the world's we're the best gamblers. And I typically do not gamble on games. If I gamble on college football, it's usually player props. But I did go make a drive so I could place a bet on this game because Liberty being in Virginia, I can't bet on them. So I had to drive about 15 minutes down the road to North Carolina so I could place a bet. But that was like, I don't know what the odds makers were thinking. Like that was easy, like easy money, like crazy that they only thought Buffalo was less than a field goal favorite in that game.
And Billy Tuesday, is the Buffalo quarterback coming back?
I think Igbana's out. Is he out of eligibility? I would think.
He's out there asking him, with this whole junior college deal, he might have one more.
That's what I was going to go back. I was going to go look and see what his
he might have one more. We'll see.
Roster, let's see,
I don't think they're
CJ,
supposed to. I don't think the NCAA or the courts are supposed to like revisit the.
Oh no, let's see. I can't tell if he was at. I see his career stats, but I can't tell how many games he played.
So I don't think the NCAA or that the court system are looking at that appeal until April. So at that point, it's like, Justice mentioned it earlier. You have enrollment, and classes starting back here in a couple of weeks. Like, what do? Do you go to school for a semester and like, oh yeah, no, I'm out of eligibility? Like, I mean, I don't know. So
you're right. He might have some because he began his career at Hutchinson, which is a JUCO. He was there for 2 years, and then he played at Southeast Missouri State, and then he played 23 and 24. So I think you're right. I think he would have 1 year left based on that JUCO ruling.
Yep. So we'll see. But
yeah,
that's it for bowl games for us in talking about bowl season's over.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was the last bowl game, the last G5 game. Well, I guess technically we still have 2 bowl games left, or 3 bowl games left, but they're all part of the college football playoffs. Sadly, no G5 representative in those games.
Well, that does it for us this week. Come back and join us next week as we continue with our all G5 Hive conference teams. We'll cover the MAC, the Mountain West, and the Sun Belt, as well as finish everything off with our G5 Hive All-American team. And always bring you up to date with all the latest news and happenings in the world of G5 college football. If you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're watching us on X, please give us a retweet, a like, and a follow. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please subscribe and leave those 5-star ratings. It's great for the algorithms. We want your guys' support. If you guys like what we're doing, help support us. Thank you for all your support. Until the next time, we are the G5 Hive.